What is going on, everybody? It is Giants Nick here, back with a video, and today I'm going to be going into the next team in our series of team previews for the 2021 NFL season post-free agency edition. Again, before I start the video, as usual, I need you guys to like the video, sub to the channel. It's free. You get all the NFL news and information. I'm going to get you guys all the teams, all the divisions, all the predictions. So definitely like the vid, sub to the channel. So far, I've done the entire NFC East and AFC East, and I've also done the Bengals and the Steelers. So definitely check their videos out if you haven't, seen them yet. But today we are getting into Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. So first, a little recap of last season. Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns had a very successful season. Baker Mayfield, he had 26 touchdowns and I believe only 6 interceptions or 8 interceptions. And he played some great football. A lot of people like to talk down on Baker Mayfield kind of because he's a character and he has his own, he doesn't care what you think. He doesn't care what you think. He will go out, do what he believes is right. He's going to play. Baker has the attitude that he will carry himself above any and all criticism. And, it's an extremely respectable, it's extremely respectable from Baker. And last year, that attitude really lifted his team. The team got behind him. They rallied, and, they made it to the playoffs, and they won a game. The Browns won a playoff game. 3 years ago, we're like, what? And, the Browns won a playoff game. And that's not a fluke. I definitely do not think that's a fluke. And in this video, you'll see what I mean. So let's get into some of their free agents, what they did this offseason so far. So first is Troy Hill. I think Troy Hill signing a 4-year contract was awesome. So the Browns they tried to dot up and draft second round and first round players in their secondary, and it really hasn't worked out outside of Denzel Ward. Grant Delpit and Greedy Williams. Grant Delpit, mind you, was only a rookie. He got hurt, never played a game. But Greedy Williams never really is always hurt. He's really not panning out to be anything real special. I still think the kid's got talent and he's got a great chance of being good. But what the Browns did is smart. They went out, they got a reliable corner, and if those guys are healthy, the secondary is locked down. If they're not healthy, it's still really good. They got Troy Hill, right? And he's not the only one. We'll get into the other signing they had, but it's a 4-year deal. Pretty inexpensive deal for a solid starting corner like Troy Hill, and I really like this move. They also signed Tack Mckinley. I believe Olivier Vernon's contract came off the books this offseason, and he's going to be a free agent. I don't anticipate them re-signing him. I really don't. But Tack Mckinley is pretty much a low-risk, high-reward signing. This guy's not a bad football player. He struggles from a lot of inconsistencies, and he has not panned out being the guy, the pass rush guy, the one big threat. But, on a line with Myles Garrett, who is arguably the best defensive lineman in the NFL, then, it changes a little bit. I have high expectations for Tack this season. He signed a 1-year, $4 million deal, I believe, $4.25 million. And I actually do think he's going to shine with the Cleveland Browns this season. Next is they re-signed Malcolm Smith. Malcolm Smith was a solid role player for them last year. I anticipate him being the same thing. He's not. He actually really never did play at a super high level. He was always, he was third wheel to Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright when he was a great Seahawk, and he was never really great as a Raider, even though he got that contract from them due to the Super Bowl MVP. But he's a leader, good, solid football player. Impact maker on special teams. I do enjoy watching Malcolm Smith play ball. Next is Malik Jackson. This is an interesting signing, especially because Malik Jackson has not been good in recent years. He got that big contract, and he kind of just, phased out, faded away. But, I expect him to recover and, have a decent season. I really do. He should be fine. I don't see why he shouldn't be good this year. You got Myles Garrett now, Tack McKinley, Sheldon Richardson. You got a lot of guys in the building. If he's able to rotate in and play good ball, then this is a home run of a signing right here. Anthony Walker, I like this signing. He doesn't have much of a role in the Colts' future due to the fact that they have Darius Leonard They got, they have guys. They have a lot of guys, and Anthony Walker is not a bad. He's a little. He's not on the smaller side, but he's on the lighter side, which is what a lot of NFL teams want now. In the pass happy game that they play, and Anthony Walker's great for it. I think he's an above average linebacker, and I think you're going to see him shine a little bit. And it's been a little touch and go with the Browns linebacking core. They let go of Kirksey, hoping that the young guy from Alabama could do a lot of damage, and he really never panned out. Really, he didn't metabolize to what they thought he'd be, and it's just it happens. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens, but I definitely think that Anthony Walker is a good signing for them. It gets them back on track at the linebacker position, and they should be good. I think he's going to thrive there. B.J. Goodson's not very good. They kind of, what I mean. They kind of just try to plug and play with great pass rushers, and it worked for a while. But you saw, sometimes in games, especially when they played Dallas, they couldn't stop Zeke. They couldn't stop any sort of run plays. They couldn't, they were having trouble, staying with teams. The Browns should be good. They should be good this year, and I think Anthony Walker is actually going to be an impact maker. I think he will. Mac Wilson's really not becoming the guy that everybody thought the steal he was. He's not that he's bad. I like Mac Wilson. His tackling needs to get better. It needs to get better. But let's continue. John Johnson. This is the big free agent signing. This is Mr. Big Ticket right here. John Johnson. He signed a pretty luxurious 3-year deal to be that guy. John Johnson's a good safety, man. Like, he's been going under the radar for a few years now. He's a good ball player. Year in and year out, John Johnson usually plays almost all the games. He stays relatively healthy, plays very consistently. He's a good ball player. I really love this signing because you can't just assume Delpit's going to get on the field. You can't. You can't just assume that. Because, as he's shown you, we don't know. We don't know yet. So, love this signing. But this is the most important guy this season, I think. This picture, I used the Giants photo instead of a Browns photo for a reason. And I know, blah, 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 I'm Giants Nick, and I'm not a big Odell fan for the Giants, at least. But, I got to say something. The Browns are really kicking themselves over this trade right now. They are. They're kicking themselves because, they traded a former first-round pick, a first-round pick, and a third-round pick for Beckham and his overbloated, overweighted contract. And, this is all about on-field stuff. I'm not talking about, everybody has different opinions about his off-the-field, whatever, right? On-field, for the Giants, he was great up until 2017 when he hurt his ankle. He came back in 2018 and played with a bit of hesitation, but he still had 1,000 yards because he was fed the ball over and over and over again. The Browns seemed last year, when Odell was in the game, like their offense was going to struggle again because they could not get a good rhythm and flow going. However, I think this year is going to be very telling. I think if Baker and Odell cannot get on the same page, Odell's gone. It won't work. Because after Odell Beckham Jr. got hurt last year, Baker Mayfield for the rest of the season, and this is not a made-up stat, this is a real stat, had 18 touchdowns and 1 interception after Beckham got hurt. Now, I'm not saying that's Beckham's fault, but what I'm saying is there's clearly a chemistry thing that's off with them. It's foolish to say that Beckham is the same guy that he was in New York City because he's not. He's not. We all know he's not. But, it's really, really, really big that he plays a role, not just for the Browns, but for his NFL career this year. He's been hampered with injuries his entire career. He is injury prone. That's not a doubt. He's missed a lot. He missed a lot of games for the Giants. Now he missed almost a full season for the Browns, unfortunately, for an ACL. This is showtime. Beckham's got to show up. I think, he's motivated. This is not a lazy guy. This is a guy who works his tail off every day. But we got to see it. We got to see it. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we got to see it. So let's get into the schedule. So the Browns' 17th game is against the Arizona Cardinals. That one's going to be a loss. I'm going to say that now. Cardinals are going to be a loss, not because, no, I think the Browns are going to do very well, but the Cardinals had probably a top 2, top 3 offseason this year. So let's get into it. The Bears will win. I don't anticipate the Bears being a good team this year. They got rid of good defensive playmakers, and Andy Dalton's their quarterback. Enough said. I've said this in the past videos. If you haven't seen them, check them out, but I do not like the Broncos. I don't think they're doing anything good. They have just too much stock in Drew Lock, and he's not very good. Same with the Lions. I mean, they kind of just they absorbed a contract with Jared Goff here, and I don't expect them to be very good. This is more about the first 3 teams, more about them being bad than the Browns being good. And don't worry, the Browns are a good team. I have them beating the Raiders. I think they match up well against the Raiders. Run the ball. They protect their quarterback. They do a good job. Wills and Conklin and Teller and Bitonio and Treader, they do a great job at protecting Baker Mayfield and opening lanes for Chubb and Hunt. They do a great job. Another win. All my Texans predictions are going to be without Deshaun Watson. I'm not ever going to get into what they're doing, what's going on with him. I'm not going to do it. So, but we're going to keep going. I have them on a 1-1 with everybody in the division. Joe Burrow and the Bengals have shown the ability to hang with the Browns. I think they're going to – you will see, because when I give 1-1s, I always give the home opponent, the home team, the win, and the away team, I'll give the loss, just because you usually win more at home than you do away. This is not an indication that, they own them on this field or whatever. No, that's just what it is. I'll give them one win against the Ravens. I think the Browns are ready. The Browns are ready for the big time. This is Baker Mayfield's shot right now. He was good last year, brought him to the playoffs, won a game, and they almost won another game last year too. They almost beat the Chiefs. This is it. Let's go, Baker. Go. You need to beat down on Baltimore. You can't let them beat you again. I expect them to beat the Steelers. They should not be losing to the Steelers anymore. They're going to go 1-1 because, I have to give the Steelers benefit of the doubt here because they did beat them once last year and they almost beat them again with a backup quarterback. But I do not expect the Browns to go 0-2. I would not be surprised at all if the Browns swept the Steelers. A win against the Chargers. The Chargers are getting better, but they're not there yet. We got to see what they're going to do with their coaching staff. How they're going to fit with Herbert, how that's all going to work. I'm going to give them a loss against Kansas City. They almost beat Kansas City, but it was, without Mahomes, really, like Chad Henne. But the Browns, I do expect to play good ball, and they could hang with. Listen, they can hang with the Chiefs. I would not doubt if you give Hunt and Chubb 15 carries each that you can beat that team. But as of right now, I'm going to say no. Same with the Packers. I'm going to say no right now. Things can change. I give them a win against the Patriots. Patriots are a good team, but I think the Browns are going to do a lot. It's going to be a lot of ground and pound, and the team that's going to be able to throw the ball over the top once or twice is going to be able to win the game. And I think that's the Browns, not the Patriots. I don't trust Cam Newton's arm. Another win against the Vikings. I think, again, the Browns just do a lot well that the Vikings do not. They can run the ball better than anybody else in the NFL, and I think they will run all over the Vikings. The Bengals, like I said, I'm going to give a 1-1 on the loss. I think Burrow and I could just show you these 3. I gave them all losses. And, again, I think they're going to go 1-1 with the division opponents. I do believe the Bengals will beat them one of the times, but the Steelers may not. So that's what I have right there, and I'm going to give you the record, 11-6. 11-6, that's a great record. It'll probably come down to tiebreakers with them and the Ravens. I have high expectations for the Ravens again next year, which you'll see in my next video. But this is the Browns. This is how I feel. I think they're going to be a good team this year. I do. They're going to lose to the Cardinals in that last game. I have them losing. That's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. The Cardinals did a lot this offseason, but I am really proud of the job that the Cleveland Browns front office has done to make them a playoff team last year and set them up for more success. So thank you guys for watching. Like the vid, sub to the channel. Check out the other vids I got. Really appreciate it. Comment your takes. Comment what you think. Tell me what you think. And, yeah. So thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.